This is Umar for BoxNation. We're in Brooklyn. Well, no, we're not in Brooklyn, actually. I'm staying in Brooklyn, but I've come over to Manhattan, of course, to meet the legend that is Roy Jones Jr. First time on the relaunch of BoxNation, so appreciate your time, Roy. Obviously, a big brand in boxing, a recognised brand. Your thoughts on BoxNation returning?
Yeah, it's very good to see BoxNation return. It was great when they were here before. Glad to see them back because boxing needs as much publicity as it can get, and having people like you guys involved just kind of helps keep the public abreast to what's going on in the world of boxing. So I'm thankful that you guys are back and glad to be doing this first interview with you again.
Well, it's a great time to come back.
Yes.
Because boxing is absolutely flying. I mean, all over the world with what's going on in the Middle East and His Excellency and Riyadh season, which we'll come on to. And it's great to see a big fight in America this week, although a very strange kind of fight week, considering what's been going on. So let's start with Ryan Garcia, missing weight by 3 pounds, Roy. Just get your thoughts of that.
Well, you know, for me, it's kind of, you could say it's unprofessional to a degree, but nowadays with social media and with the way things are going, it's like the more attention you can draw, the better you do, the better you sell. So it's almost like he's giving up a little bit to make a little bit more, because by him doing the things that he's been doing, all of the tactics that he's been using, all the mental instability that he's been showing, then to show up not on weight makes people feel like, first of all, he's maybe a little bit crazy. Secondly, he's not taking it serious. And that's what I think he wants Haney to think, because he knows Haney better than any other opponent that he's faced. He fought Haney 6 times as an amateur. They got 3-3. So it's like they know one another very well. So he knows pretty much what he's up against. And I think he's just trying to make the opposition relax a little to give him that one chance to land that big hook. And he knows that in 8-ounce gloves, that hook is a little different than it is in 10-ounce amateur gloves and headgear.
Are you surprised that, well, considering his behaviour into the lead up to this fight, are you surprised that he's actually getting in the ring tomorrow night?
No, I'm not. I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if he pulled out before the fight either. But no, I'm not surprised that he's getting in the ring tomorrow night, because, I mean, when you're making the money that he's making for a fight like this, of course he's going to get in the ring. Why would he not? And for him, like I said, he's already became a social media star, so he really don't need boxing. But it's a great way to catapult the opportunity to make a little money on what he's built on social media. You feel me? So he gets a chance to optimize what he's built, and that's a great thing for him. So the more chaos he can bring into the situation, the better it makes it on social media. You know how social media is. They want to see bad stuff. They want to see negativity. They want to see people do things that are crazy, out of this world. That's what he's doing. And then to top it all, he don't make weight and don't even try to lose the extra weight. So he's smart.
Do you think it's unprofessional?
It's unprofessional in a professional setting, yes, but because of the way you see him doing it, he may not be using it in an unprofessional way. It may turn around and work for his favor, because if he sells more buys than he sold his last fight, because of all of his antics and all, it helps him and Devin. So it could turn out to be a good thing. To me, yeah, it would be negative, because I'm old school, and I'm old school boxing. In old school boxing, you do what if you sign the contract, you're gonna make 140, you make 140. That's old school boxing. That's just me. But like I said, with today's era, you gotta open your mind a little bit, because they are different.
Roy, you're a massive star in your day for obvious reasons. One of the most talented, gifted fighters we've seen in a ring before. What you've just said there about social media today, if you were fighting today in your prime right now, how big would you be, you think?
We'll be super big, but here's the thing about it. It wouldn't be because of the antics that I do outside of the ring. It's because of the antics that I do inside the ring when I fight. I gave you so much entertainment, and that's gone now. Nobody does that anymore. But nobody did it to my level when I was doing it. The only person that came close was Prince Nassim Hamed and the Drunken Master. And those two guys, they did their thing, but not on the level that I did it. You feel me? I mean, they wasn't beating top-notch fighters or top pound-for-pound fighters with it at the time. They beat top guys, but just not the caliber of guys that I was beating, and I was doing more of the entertaining than they were. So you don't really get that type of entertainment no more with class, because I never called anybody out of their names. I never bothered people first. I never talked down on people. I just kind of gave the fans a show, and I got out of there. And that's what it really was.
Could you imagine though Muhammad Ali in today's world?
Of course, Muhammad Ali or Roy Jones, or Mike Tyson. Be unbelievable. We own our own islands.
Most certainly would. Probably would own the whole world, the three of you combined.
Exactly.
Roy. In terms of Devin Haney, how special is he?
He's very special. To find a kid to go at 23 years old, go all the way to Australia and fight the undisputed champion and to dethrone him, then to go back and give him a rematch in his same country, his home country, and beat him again. That says an awful lot about a kid. That tells you that that kid is hungry, eager, and ready to take the throne. And that's why I tell people anything can happen in boxing because it is boxing, but it's going to be very difficult for somebody to upend him right now. He's at the top of his game. He's constantly getting better every fight, and he wants it. You know what I'm saying? He learned from the old school. He wants it. He say he grew up watching Roy Jones, and he acts like it. Because anytime he can get a big fight or a fight with a decent name or a title fight, he takes it. He ain't ducking and dodging. He takes what he can take.
Do you think he can carry American boxing?
He gonna carry it. He carrying it now. I mean, he's doing a great job of carrying it right now. So I think he can carry it for a little ways. You know, I would like to see him do a few more things. There's just a couple of changes that I'd like to help him add to his game, and then I think he'll be fine.
Okay. Let's move away from this. As I said at the start, world boxing is booming here, the UK, but specifically at the moment in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, it's just big fight after big fight after big fight. And we've got two coming up in Fury Usyk and Bivol Beterbiev, two undisputed fights, incredible. I want to start with the heavyweight championship of the world. Break it down as honestly as you can, Fury and Usyk.
Well, the way I see it is that Fury is the bigger man. Fury's gonna make a ugly fight for Usyk because he's so much taller than Usyk. But Usyk is a tactician. He's a very good technician at what he does. He's not the most explosive guy, which explosiveness would really give him the fight for sure. But now, because he lacks that explosiveness, it plays kind of in Fury's favor. Yet the last fight against Ngannou has given Fury a little bit more. Given Usyk a little bit more confidence than he had already. So now, even though it seemed like beating Fury was gonna be tough, it may not look as tough to him as it was before. And hopefully he don't pull back too much because it's gonna be just as tough as he thought it was, or tougher. Because Fury won't take him the way that he took Ngannou. He'll take Usyk serious because he knows Usyk's pedigree.
We've obviously seen a massive change in Tyson Fury's style. If you think back to the Klitschko fight and the way he's fighting now, specifically under Sugar Hill, if you were in Tyson's corner, how would you tell him to approach the Usyk fight?
I would tell him to approach the fight the way that he used to fight back in the days. He's getting better because he's learning how to punch with power now, but punching with power is also his downfall because when you commit to punches more, you're susceptible to be hit by punches more. So you live by the gun, you die by the gun. When he used that long jab and just stayed away from people and didn't allow them to touch him, he beat everybody. I mean, he got dropped a couple times. He's been down 7 times as a pro. But he always got up and still won the fights. You feel me? So it's like when he fought smart and used his mental, not his physical for defense, but not his offense, he was a different fighter. When he starts to try to hit harder and use his physical for offense, then he becomes vulnerable. So if he goes out trying to bang with Usyk, he'll lose the fight. But if he boxes and stays on his jab and just keeps Usyk away and just be disruptive and discouraging like he always has been in the past, then he'll probably beat Usyk.
Their team, Tyson's team, talked a lot about Usyk's body and perhaps vulnerabilities to his body. Do you see that? Do you agree with that?
I agree with it to a degree, but Usyk hopefully understands that he is fighting the lineal undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, to be honest with you. So if you know this, I think you know to get your body in shape, your mind in shape, your arms in shape, everything in shape. So hopefully he won't come in the same as he seemed to have been in previous fights, or like when people thought he got hit with a low blow, some people thought it was a legal body shot and it actually hurt him. I thought it was on the cup line, so I didn't think it was really a legal shot, but it was close. But like I said, some people think that it took a bad effect on him. So him knowing that, you got to know that that's what Fury's gonna be aiming at. So knowing that, you should prepare that and be better prepared for that when you come to the fight, so that doesn't happen again.
Do you think Usyk can hurt him?
Yeah, I think Usyk can hurt him, but I don't know if he really can knock him down or knock him out. But I do know he can hurt him because he does punch hard enough to hurt him. In those little bitty gloves, anybody can hurt anybody. So yeah, he can hurt him, but Can it hurt him bad enough to make it would be detrimental in the outcome of the fight? I don't know.
If you were now advising Oleksandr Usyk, we saw the cut that Tyson suffered, of course, that postponed the original fight. That is in a prime position for a southpaw jab. Would you be advising Usyk to target that and open that cut up? Yeah.
Without a question. You got to do that. You got to take every advantage you can get. You're the smaller man coming up to fight the bigger man. You need every advantage that you can possibly get.
And if you had to put your last dollar on it, who wins?
I ain't going to go against Tyson Fury, but Usyk is a hell of a fighter. So it's really you pick him. I would probably put that dollar on Fury, but that's not to take them away from Usyk, because if Usyk is on his A game that night, it could be bad for Fury.
Where do you see Anthony Joshua in this picture? Because he seems to have really improved recently under Ben Davison. Obviously, we know he lost his form a little bit, those 2 fights with Usyk, and he didn't really seem confident in himself, but he seems to have got that back now, Anthony. Where does he fit in this heavyweight division?
Well, I like Anthony always because he's very athletic and he's a very good guy to me. And I think he's a very good heavyweight contender, one of the tops out there now, and I think he can basically compete with anybody on any given day if his mind is right. So if his mind is right, yeah, he can give them all trouble. He still has a little bit more that he'll have to do to beat Usyk. I think his chances are better with Fury because he's explosive and he's a big puncher. And those are the guys that seem to give give Fury the bigger problem. Those guys play into Usyk's hands because the harder you try to hit Usyk, the more mobile he becomes, and the more he takes advantage of you trying to hit him with the bombs. So I think he still have a hard time beating Usyk, but his chances would be better against Fury because he does have that size and that one-punch knockout ability that causes Fury problems.
Tyson and Anthony are giants. Heavyweights have been getting bigger and bigger. How would have Tyson and Anthony done in the previous era? So I'm talking about the eras with Ali, Foreman, the era of obviously yourself, the Holyfield, Tyson, Lennox era. How would they have done then?
Man, I don't really want to say that because that's really not my thing to do because I don't really know. You can't have no guarantees. But from a skill point, it would have been tough for them because they, once again, like all the other weight classes, the guys sometimes have a harder time converting from the UK to the US because they don't have the talent pool because it's not as big a place as the United States is. So the United States has a huge talent pool. So guys learn a lot differently than they do in the UK because it's not as big of a talent pool. That being said, I don't think it's no different in the heavyweight division. I think that they both will do good with certain guys, but they will struggle with certain guys too.
And Deontay Wilder, and we know he's fighting Zhilei Zhang, of course, again in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia in June. I'm not quite sure what happened in the fight with Joseph Parker. He seemed to freeze there, Roy.
No, he didn't freeze. It's just that he didn't expect Joseph Parker to be as good of a technician as Joseph Parker is. And Joseph Parker came in and figured out from watching the fight with Fury how to beat Deontay Wilder. And I think Deontay Wilder didn't make any adjustments after that fight because he used the same tactics that Fury did, and it worked. So if you see a guy beat a guy like this and you go train to beat him the same way, and you do it, then I mean he didn't make any adjustments. So Wilder, I think, just needs to make a few adjustments and he can get back on that horse, but he does have to make some adjustments.
What do you think about the fight with Zhang, Wilder and Zhang?
It's a tough fight for both of them because Zhang has an awesome chin. Zhang also knocked Joseph Parker down twice. I don't think the bronze bomb, I don't think he dropped him at all.
Didn't really land on Joseph Parker.
Yeah. So he couldn't hit him. Zhang had him down twice. So if Zhang can take his punch, it's going to be tough for him again because Zhang is a big boy.
That's on a 5v5 card between Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn. Now, you'll know the history between, even though you're from the States, you'll know the history between Frank and Eddie. Rivals for years, nearly 2 decades, didn't even speak to each other for 14 years, the two biggest promoters in the UK. And now His Excellency has got them working together and it's, it's amicable, they're working together, which is really good, but they've got this 5v5 card, which is a lot of pride for both promoters, both families.
Of course, and they want to know who wins. I want to see who wins it too because it makes it even more interesting when the promoters are battling, so it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Do you have good relationships with both Frank and Eddie?
Both of them. I think they're both good people. Eddie has said some pretty negative things about me being a trainer, but it's to be expected when you don't want me training your guy. I understand that, so I'm cool. I don't hate nobody. People talk. It is what it is, so it's all good.
On that card as well, Dubois Hrgovic, another big heavyweight fight. Who's you picking that?
I don't know. It's a tough fight to call. That's a tough call. I don't know much about the other fighter. I know Daniel Dubois, but I don't know the other guy that well. So it's kind of you pick him.
Okay. In terms of His Excellency and Riyadh season, what they're doing for the sport is quite incredible, as I said.
Very incredible.
Just your overall thoughts on it.
I think it's a beautiful thing for boxing. It gives these guys the money that we wish we could have made back in the day when I was fighting, And now they got it because of us paving the way and holding it down till it finally happened. Now it has happened, and it's a beautiful thing for them. He offered us at one time to say that some legends could come back there and fight as well, but we haven't heard anything about that since that time. So I don't know how true that'll be, but it's good that they're putting on the fights, and it's good that the guys now benefiting from it. It's a beautiful thing, and it helps boxing. So it's good.
We're talking about legends coming back. Of course, Mike Tyson had that fight with you, and now he steps into a ring with Jake Paul this summer. Your reaction when that was first announced?
I've been expecting it for a long time. I've been expecting them to get together because they're two big names. Like I said, today's times are more about social media and names than anything else. So they got two big names. Two big names usually sell an event now, whether they are equal in fighting or whether people think it's going to be a great fight or not. The names sell more than the fights do.
Okay. I think it will be a real fight as well. I don't think it's going to be like a head guards or exhibition.
Like I keep telling people, Mike don't know how to play. So he may not try to tear your head off right away, but he don't know how to play. He don't hit one way hard. So
one thing I will say about that, though, Netflix obviously are the broadcaster for that, and Netflix getting involved in boxing can only be a positive thing.
Can only be a positive, especially for the United States.
Right, lastly, just want to finish off on your guy back in the UK, Archie Sharp, who I'm really glad to see he's got a fight date locked in, May 11th, on a Frank Warren card. How's it working with Archie, and how far can he go in the sport?
It's working good with Archie. Archie can go a long ways in the sport. I've just got to figure out ways for me to get to him more, because he's eager to learn, and he's very good at picking up the things that I teach him. He's very humble, and he's willing to learn it. So when you get people that are willing to learn, it's an awesome thing. Tony Curtis just won another fight tonight over in Dubai, so that was good. He won, I think that made him 7-1 now, so he's moving right along too. So I do train him and Archie, and got two other guys I might be working with, heavyweight by the name of Ozzy Omariji, and another heavyweight by the name of Frankie. I can't say his last name that well, but Frankie just asked me to be a part of his team, and Frankie is 6-1. So, I got a lot of guys that are starting to understand that I know the game, and they want to learn the game at that United States level, or that world level. I should say not United States, the world level. So they employ me to come over and help teach it to them, and I think Archie's going to get a lot better. The heavyweights are going to get a lot better, and little Tony is already showing promise and getting a lot better. So I'm looking forward to coming over and continually making an impact on UK boxing.
So you'll be in Archie's corner, yeah?
Not this time, but next time we'll.
Okay, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
Before I let you go, if you could just rank the top 5 heavyweights, your 5 heavyweights, in order, please.
Right now, you got to go Tyson Fury, Oleksandr Usyk, Anthony Joshua. Really got to put Joseph Parker. Then you got to Deontay Wilder.
Okay, Wilder above Zhang.
Right now, yeah.
Yeah, I guess that will change if Zhang beats Wilder.
Wilder and Zhang could be number 5A and 5B. Yeah.
Okay. Roy Jones Jr., absolute pleasure always to catch up with you, but I do appreciate the time here in New York.
Thank you,
look forward to an interesting night at the Barclays with Ryan Garcia and Devon Haney. Roy Jones Jr. for BoxNation, thank you very much.
Thank you, my brother.